Borich and Gwyn Ashton, welcome to Australian Musician.
Thank you.
So, you two guys, how do you know each other?
Gwynny?
Well, I guess it was back in the early 80s.
I've been nicked, mate. I can't remember that far back.
My band opened for Kevin one night and he came up and said, hey, leave your gear on stage and we'll have a jam. And I went, okay, and that was kind of, that was the beginning of it.
Yeah.
So it's all your fault.
What city was that?
That was in Sydney.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere in Sydney. I can't remember. Sylvania?
Yeah, well, we used to be everywhere. We used to be everywhere in those days, 5 days a week. I did 366 gigs one year. We used to do universities in the afternoon, start with an instrumental that went on for 15 minutes because we were trying to wake up.
You guys have both made your name in the blues genre, or blues-based rock and roll.
Yeah.
When did you first notice the blues?
I noticed the blues through my Auntie Johnny. And she had a record that had multiple guys on it, like Muddy Waters and Johnny Hooker, and I was listening to the radio and liking the Shadows and Elvis and stuff, and I heard that, and she had Ray Charles too, which blew me away, and I heard Johnny Hooker's voice and singing about the Tupelo floods and stuff, and went, wow, this is so deep, you know, and so that's where I got introduced to it.
Yeah. Do you remember the first blues lick that you learned?
It was probably like a Chuck Berry or from one of the White Boys, really, because I didn't really stay in the traditional blues. I didn't have any of the records, but then, you know, like down the track, you're getting Eric Clapton to say, "Oh, I learnt this one off Albert King," you know, kind of thing. So, you know, the English guys turned us onto the blues in a big way, but I got there a bit too early with mine. Yeah. How did you go, bud?
Yeah, well, I used to listen to the radio a lot, and the stuff that I heard on the radio was blues. The stuff that I enjoyed listening to was blues based, and I never knew about the different genres because I was pretty young. And then a friend of mine took me to see this Adelaide blues band called Smokestack Lightning at in the Adelaide Oldgate Pump House Hotel, and they're a local Adelaide blues band, and I went. That was my first exposure, and I couldn't believe it. They were like a Chicago blues band. It was sort of a muddy sort of Howlin' Wolf sort of thing, and they were fantastic. And the next day, I went out and bought the Blues Breakers album, and you sort of listen to the white stuff, and you go backwards from that. So through that, I discovered Lightnin' Hopkins, Son House.
What drew you to slide guitar playing?
What did get me into slide playing? I think I saw the Rolling Stones play in the really early 60s at the Auckland Town Hall, and Brian Jones was playing a teardrop Vox. I think he was playing these long notes and they were bending all the way everywhere. And I'm sort of going, I didn't even really, and it was a slide. And I didn't even then, but then down the track when I wrote the riff, Morning Good Morning, and that's my first slide song I played. Yeah.
I remember last time I had a conversation with you a decade or so ago. My favourite slide guitar track of yours is The Place.
I know, so many people love that thing.
And you told me you were reluctant to play it.
What an idiot. I'm playing it now. I've come around. I'm much more intelligent these days. Probably, I don't know, maybe, I don't know why attitude at that time, but I mean, it's one of those songs that I've had people, even the guy said, well, I was trying to get a gig at this RSL on the way back up, and then the girl I was talking to said, oh, the manager knows you, and it's like, well, if you come, you've got to play The Place. and it's one of those songs, so I've started doing it again. Yeah, and so it's amazing how sometimes you think something no one wants to know about it, and all of a sudden people go, oh, what about that one?
Yeah.
That's The Place. All kinds of people in up the street, they keep telling me that this is the place to meet. Hey, look back there, up against the bar, isn't that Rocco T. James, the recording star? Lonely people and his wide-eyed freaks, some new faces and a few antiques.
Where do you get those lyrics from?
There's Bebop Annie and Tokyo Joe, two hippie policemen. How low can you go?
Were they real people?
No, well, there was the detectives and, like in the places trying to bust people.
Where was the place?
Well, there was a few of them, like the Mansell Room and, places
right,
then before that, because I don't know if we were going playing there then, but there's always that, ended up playing at late night places where, hoods and the underworld will hang out. And
The best rock
ladies
and roll
of the night.
places. It's sad that all those places are gone now.
Yeah, there's just no sin anywhere.
So
What's going
very
on?
Nice.
Your current album is Totem,
Yeah.
and you decided to re-record "Gonna See My Baby Tonight." What made you do that one again?
Well, because when I used to hear it, I thought, oh gee, it's a bit slow and doesn't sound really great. And when I was still playing it, I thought, well, a lot of people love it, so I thought, well, why not do it again? So basically that's the reason. And it's one of those songs that's turned into, that I have had a lot of airplay from, and it's amazing how an audience will identify with something that I've heard before, and I've been trying to ram my other stuff that's never been played down their throats. So they're wonderfully relieved when I play that song.
Yeah. Did that riff come to you fairly easy?
Hmm?
The "Gonna See My Baby" riff, did that come to you fairly easily?
Well, I can't play it on this because it's up tuning, but it's I had a chord book and I learned a couple of jazz chords, and I was sitting in the van, which was a transit twin wheeler, man. There was this la-di-da's van, Swampy's van, Wayne Jarvis, wonderful roadie, and it had airplane seats in it behind. He put them in, so we had the king van of all the bands at that moment, And we're coming back from Queensland, and I'm sitting behind playing some chords and major seventh love chord things, and I'm going, I'm gonna love you right behind his head all night long. But when the street lights light, I'll be going, and I play the intro, and where everyone cracked up laughing. He goes, well, what happens then? And then I got the dun dun dun, gonna see my into that, and we just chundered on down the road working it out.
Do you remember the la-di-da's? Were you into the band
Well,
back in the day?
my grandfather told me about them.
Just after the ice melted.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because I was pretty young then, because, I'm a little bit younger. But all the names said, I might have seen you on GTK or something.
Well, that was a wonderful show, wasn't it?
Yeah,
black and white. The band would go in, no bullshit. The band would set up and play, and you'd just play, and that was the show. Music and the band's playing.
Over the years, the guitars that we know you for are the Firebird, the Flying V, and sort of the Strat.
Yeah.
After that, what attracted you to the Firebird and Flying V?
Well, I had my, guys like Clapton. I guess the Beano record was a big thing for everybody. Playing, he had that great tone.
And we all know Eric had a Flying V on that album, don't we?
Yeah. Well,
no.
And then, because then I had my Johnny Winter sort of moments when I heard him, and that got me into the Resonator, I guess that's where, and the Firebird. I love the shape of it for a start. I was always into the looks. You ever see the lady does what we used to wear? They're ridiculous. We beat the Bay City Rollers with wearing tartan.
What, tartan?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Used to wear all
Okay.
that shit. It was fun. And I had my hair, and then of course Hendrix came along, and I went, whoopee-doo. Wow, this guy's got it all. He was writing these really great lyrics and had a complete sort of artist that was showman the lot, So, because I started on the Gibson. I had a Telecaster first. Well, I shouldn't have sold that thing. How many times you said that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You said it? Say it again.
I should never have sold that Telecaster.
Yeah, right. and
I've got a few that I shouldn't have sold.
and then the Strat, yeah. Because I remember, I was on an SG, so they sit pretty much out here, don't they? The neck's right out. And then I go, well, I love the tones of that Strat, I'm going to get a Strat. So I put it on, and it's way back here, because it's got a horn. So I went to Jan's with brand new Strat, Jan's, PA company, and so I could borrow your bandsaw. I walked up and I just chop the knob off, you know, where the strap is, so it would sit like
that's
this.
a good idea.
And they all looked at me like I was always taking on too much acid or something.